Bombshell news, folks. Legendary promoters Ed and Betty Pariso have broken with the NPC to start their new group, the World Beachbody Federation. What's going on, everyone? This is Christian Duke. You're watching Strength Addicts on all social media platforms, powered by IML. Make your mark with IronMagLabs.com today. So, guys, when Brent Jones told me about this, legendary Kentucky-based promoter, I was like, what? And then he shows me the story. You got Ed and Betty, some trophies in front of their banner, and they're talking about wanting to do something ethical and principled with their new organization. Ethical and principled, that's kind of like that Ron Howard documentary talk, Inside Edition talk, Washington Post headline talk. It's like, if you want to do something that's ethical and principled, does that mean that where you're leaving or where you left is not? I mean, it's just kind of like, look, they're just turning a new leaf, so to say. But I got to be honest with you, though. You look at that banner, and it looks like they're not going to waste much time on bodybuilding or, 212 bodybuilding or any of that. They're focusing on, the divisions that make the money. Classic, probably regular men's physique, maybe bikini, figure, maybe some fitness, maybe some wellness, probably no women's bodybuilding, even though, Betty Pariso was a women's bodybuilding legend, and maybe not even women's physique. I think they're going to focus on the divisions that make the most money. At least that's kind of like what I gleaned from the poster or the banner that they had behind them. But who knows? Maybe they'll have all the divisions. I don't know. But I've got to be honest with you. They've got all the contacts in Texas. They've built the relationships. I believe they had a Europa as well, which is like another monster. These people are in the business of making empires. So, as Kevin Gretsch said at evolutionofbodybuilding.net, this is a major blow to Jim Manion and the whole Pittsburgh crew. A major, major blow. Now, I'm sure they're going to send the little man from the phone company out to Texas, just like they have to Indiana and South Carolina and Illinois. I mean, they love him because his bag is always the heaviest. But the reality of the matter is, how many places is Half Pint going to go to? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. And it would be interesting if Ed and Betty Pariso, reached out to Brent Jones in Kentucky, or reached out to Rich Siegelman in Maryland and Tim Estelle. And, listen, these guys are in the business of building empires. So you got to think to yourself, they were probably, creating the blueprint to this World Beachbody Federation for months, if not a year or two. I mean, these guys are not going to just break and then just, what do I do now? That's not them. That's not who they are. That's not their MO. Now, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they get shunned by everybody that used to be their friend, like Brent, like Rich, like Tim, because look, this is I want to say a federation, but it's really a cult. Once you're persona non grata, put on the shelf, blacklisted, whatever, people will stop talking to you. And the best ones, in my opinion, are the ones that I met along the way that were like the big Bible thumpers, the big Jesus holy warriors and all that. Those were the first to stop talking to me. It's like, you don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? And so, anyways, I digress. I don't want to go off on a soapbox here, but I'd be curious if, people are going to shun them, blacklist them, turn, their shoulder on them or whatever, turn their back on them. But who knows? Probably, because that's what they do to everybody that's out. But like I said, I think that they're going to be able to carve a niche for themselves because, again, they're in the business of creating empires. And I can't imagine that Ed and Betty Pariso are, going to fail, or that this World Beachbody Federation is going to, burn and fizzle in the next 6 months. They're probably going to be around. It's probably going to be another WBFF. And they probably thought this out very carefully. They probably have sponsors already ready to go and contingencies in place. And they probably already know where they're going to pull athletes from because they know the NPC Texas is probably going to boycott them. Obviously not on paper because they don't want to get sued, but of course you're going to put the word out through their coaches and trainers and companies and whatnot. Because Brent Jones, he had 400, 500 bodies at the Kentucky Muscle and Kentucky Derby Festival Classic. And when he went to IFBB, IFBB USA, whatever that thing was called, he was having trouble getting, 50. Same thing with Rich Siegelman. 300-400 competitors at his various Maryland shows, probably having trouble getting 20 or 30 guys, people, whatever. So don't tell me that, the NPC is not blacklisting. I mean, that's my opinion. Y'all are welcome to come and sue me if you want. And please, I'll give you the address to send a cease and desist letter because I'm running low on toilet paper. What ass with it. But like I said, you're free to do it if you want. You could even I don't want to say his name because I love him and I wouldn't want to have to, battle with him in court. But I'll battle with him in court because he ain't going to shut me up. And you can forget about calling me. Those days are long and over. But I got to tell you something. Losing Ed and Betty Pariso, that's a major blow. I'd love to see you play that one down. And I know that you will. Maybe you use Bob Ciccarillo, the voice of bodybuilding.